Have you ever looked in the mirror and thought, wait, when did that happen? Maybe it's a line around your eyes that wasn't there before. Maybe your makeup doesn't sit quite the same way it used to, or maybe your skin just feels a little bit drier. Maybe your cheeks look a little different in pictures, or maybe you're noticing a little softness around your jawline here. Or maybe you can't even identify exactly what changed. You know, just that the face looking back at you looks a little different than the face you remember. And I think there's something surprisingly emotional about that because this is your face. It's the face you've been looking at your entire life. And suddenly, somewhere in your 30s, 40s, 50s, or whenever it happens for you, you begin noticing evidence that time is passing. But here's what I want to talk about today. Aging skin is much more complicated than wrinkles. And if all we're doing is chasing individual wrinkles with the latest miracle cream, we're missing a much bigger and honestly much more interesting picture. Your skin is living tissue. It responds to hormones, nutrition, sleep, stress, sun exposure, inflammation, hydration, your environment, your skincare, and simply the normal biological process of getting older. So, today we're going to talk about what is actually happening underneath the surface as our faces age and what we can influence, what we can't, and how we can care for our skin without spending our lives being afraid of getting older. Because I don't want that for us. I don't want to look 25 forever. I want to look healthy. I want to look vibrant. I want to look like myself. And I want to take good care of what I've been given. If you're new here, I'm Rebecca, and this is You Are Worth It Health. I'm a nutritionist and a certified health coach, so I naturally tend to look at things like skincare through a whole body lens. But I'm also just a woman approaching 40, my birthday's coming up, who is watching her own face change. And skincare has actually been part of my life for a really long time, my whole life, because my mom, Patricia Bergstrom, has been involved with JAFRA for about 50 years. And I've been around and using JAFRA products since I was a little girl. So we're talking roughly 3 decades of JAFRA being part of my life, and only because that's what I can remember. That's one of the reasons I started this series. I'm not suddenly discovering some skincare company and telling you that you need to buy everything. I'm sharing something that has genuinely been woven into my family's life for generations. And today, I want to step back from individual products for a minute and ask a much bigger question. What actually makes a face look older? Because the answer is fascinating. So, for part one, let's discuss why wrinkles are only one piece. When we think about aging, we usually think about wrinkles like crow's feet, forehead lines, those little lines around our mouth. And yes, wrinkles are certainly part of aging. But when researchers look at facial aging, they're looking at much more than lines in the skin. Over time, changes can occur in multiple layers of the face. The skin itself changes. Collagen and elastin, they both change, and fat distribution is going to change. Even bone structure can gradually change. Muscle activity affects where lines develop and pigmentation changes. So the skin's ability to hold on to moisture also changes, and accumulated sun exposure begins becoming more visible. That's why someone can have relatively few wrinkles and still look older than they did 10 years ago. It's not necessarily one dramatic change, it's dozens of tiny changes happening together. And I actually find that comforting because sometimes we look in the mirror and think, what am I doing wrong? Probably nothing. You're witnessing biology, my friend. Aging isn't evidence that you failed at skincare. It's evidence that you've been alive and continued being alive. And I think that's an important distinction. So, for part two, let's discuss what happens to collagen. We're going to talk about this because it's one of the biggest buzzwords in skincare. Collagen is an important structural protein in our bodies, including our skin. You can almost think about it as part of the scaffolding that helps give skin its structure and firmness. When we're younger, we generally have more robust collagen production and turnover, which means it like recycles and replaces itself quicker. But as we get older, that process changes. And environmental factors, especially UV radiation from like the sun, can accelerate that collagen breakdown. It's one reason younger skin often seems to bounce back so easily. You can stay up too late, forget your skincare, get dehydrated, and somehow your 22-year-old face says, we're fine. And then you get closer to 40 and your face says, Rebecca, we will be documenting this decision. Oh no. And I know some of you know exactly what I'm talking about. But this is why so much mature skincare focuses on supporting hydration, antioxidant protection, the skin barrier, and ingredients intended to actually improve the appearance of firmness and texture. We aren't replacing our entire collagen structure with a bottle of serum. And I want to be careful about language like that because skincare marketing can get a little ridiculous. A topical cosmetic isn't turning a 55-year-old face biologically into a 24-year-old face. It's not a reasonable promise, but that doesn't mean skincare is useless. Not at all. There is a huge difference between saying we cannot stop biological aging and saying there is nothing we can do to care for aging skin. Those are two different statements. So for part three, we want to discuss elastin and that bounce. It's another component you hear about often. It's elastin. The name actually gives you a pretty good clue about its role. Elastin helps tissue stretch and return toward their original shape. Young skin tends to have that beautiful, resilient quality. And as we age, especially with cumulative environmental damage, that resilience can change. And that's when men and women sometimes start describing their skin as less firm, less bouncy, feeling thinner, just different. Again, it's not necessarily because you suddenly chose the wrong moisturizer. There are structural, biological changes occurring over time. And understanding that can take some of the shame out of aging because I think the beauty industry has sometimes communicated this strange message. If your face ages, you weren't disciplined enough. You didn't buy the right thing. You didn't start early enough. You didn't spend enough money. And I don't believe that. You can do everything right. You're still going to age. You're supposed to age. The goal isn't stopping time. The goal is caring for ourselves while time passes. So for part four, let's discuss why skin often does get drier. This one is huge for us as we get older. You may notice that products you used when you were younger suddenly aren't enough anymore. It's your skin. It might actually feel tight after cleansing, or foundation may settle differently. You may notice some flaky areas, or your skin simply doesn't have that plump, hydrated appearance it once did. And our skin has this incredible protective barrier. So one of its jobs is helping keep water inside while protecting us from the outside environment. And as we age, changes in oil production, lipids, hormones, and the skin barrier function can influence how dry our skin feels. And this is why I think hydration becomes increasingly important. There's hydration from the inside, making sure we're actually consuming adequate fluids and eating nourishing foods. And there's also topical skincare that helps to support the outer layers of the skin and reduce water loss. Those are not interchangeable. Drinking water doesn't mean you don't need moisturizer. And moisturizer doesn't mean you don't need to drink water. Your body is an interconnected system. So for part five, let's talk about the sun because it's one of the biggest external aging factors. Now, I say this as someone who loves being outside. The sun isn't evil. We live on a planet with a sun. That sun is our lifeline. But ultraviolet radiation absolutely matters when we're talking about visible skin aging. Years of UV exposure can contribute to what researchers call photoaging. That can show up as changes in pigmentation like the coloring, texture, elasticity, and wrinkles. And here's the frustrating part. A lot of what we're seeing today reflects exposure that happened years ago. Remember being a teenager, coating yourself in that coconut oil? I don't know about you, but I was not walking around at 16 thinking I should protect my collagen for my 40-year-old self. No, most teenagers aren't. Even my youngest teenage daughter was just laying out coated in the same tanning coconut oil I used as a teenager. She doesn't listen to me. But now we know more, and this is where sunscreen becomes less about being afraid of sunshine and more about protecting our skin from excessive UV exposure. If you're using active skincare products or investing money into a mature skin routine while simultaneously ignoring UV protection, you're missing out on one of the most important pieces of the puzzle. It's one reason I appreciate having sun protection incorporated into the skincare options I use. The goal isn't perfection, it's just consistency. And honestly, I don't use it every day. It's just when I'm going to be out in the sun for an excessive amount of time. Especially just recently, I was at the water park with the family. I had this on. So for part 6, let's discuss oxidative stress. We have to talk about it because it's something that connects skincare beautifully with nutrition and whole body health. Oxidative stress is our bodies naturally produce reactive molecules as part of normal metabolism. And we also encounter environmental sources of oxidative stress. So our bodies have antioxidant defense systems that help keep things balanced. But excessive oxidative stress can contribute to cellular damage over time. And yes, skin is affected too. That's why the word antioxidant shows up everywhere in skincare. It's also one reason nutrition matters. Fruits, vegetables, herbs, spices, nuts, seeds, colorful plant foods. These provide a wide range of nutrients and phytochemicals. As a nutritionist and health coach, this is where I always come back to something very simple. Your skin is part of your body. We sometimes treat skincare like our face exists separately from everything below our neck. It doesn't. The nutrients your body has available matter. Your circulation matters. Your metabolic health matters. Your hormones and your lifestyle matter. None of this means that eating blueberries erases wrinkles. Please don't hear me saying that. But nourishing your body provides the raw materials your body needs to function. That's one reason my approach to beauty has changed as I've gotten older. I don't want beauty to be something I paint onto my face. I want health and vitality to come through me as much as possible. So for part 7, we have to talk about protein and the skin. It's another connection people sometimes overlook. Your body needs amino acids from dietary protein to build proteins throughout the body. Do you remember what collagen is? A protein. That doesn't mean eating chicken instantly becomes collagen in your cheeks. Digestion, it doesn't work that way. But proteins are broken down into amino acids and peptides, and your body uses those building blocks according to its needs. But there's one reason, or this is one reason, that adequate nutrition matters. If you're chronically undernourishing yourself, your body still has to prioritize survival. Your heart, your brain, your organs, your immune system, your muscles. Beautiful skin isn't necessarily first on the emergency priority list. That's why when I'm talking to women about healthy aging, I'm not interested only in what they're putting on their faces. I want to know, are you eating? Are you eating enough? Are you getting enough protein? Are you eating nutrient dense foods? Are you sleeping well? How stressed are you? Are you moving your body? Are you caring for yourself? Those questions matter so much. So for part 8, let's discuss sleep and how it shows up on your face. Can we talk about it? because your face will tell on you. You can have the most beautiful skincare routine in the world, but after several nights of terrible sleep, sometimes you look in the mirror and think, well, everyone's gonna know. They're gonna know. Our bodies perform enormous amounts of repair and regulation while we sleep. Sleep influences hormones, immune function, metabolism, inflammatory signaling, and recovery. And even in the short term, poor sleep can affect how our skin and facial appearance look. This is one of those places where beauty and health stop being separate conversations. Maybe the best thing you can do for your face tonight isn't another $100 serum. Maybe it's going to bed at a reasonable time. And I have to say that to myself too. So for part 9, let's talk about stress and the face. Stress is another fascinating piece. I'm not going to tell you, don't get stressed because that's useless advice. We're human. We have children, jobs, marriage, finances, health problems. I have multiple sclerosis. It can be stressful. It doesn't go away because I tell it to. I have 7 kids. They don't go away because I tell them to. We have responsibilities and life happens, but chronic stress, it affects the entire body. And sometimes you can literally see seasons of stress on someone's face. I've experienced seasons where I look at pictures and realize I looked exhausted. Not ugly, not old, just tired. And there's a difference. I think we need to give ourselves grace for that. Sometimes the face you're criticizing has carried you through something incredibly difficult. Maybe instead of immediately asking, how do I fix this? We could occasionally say, wow, look what I've survived. That's a very different way of looking in the mirror. So for part 10, your face changes shape too. Let's talk about it. It's something I think a lot of women don't realize, maybe men too. Facial aging isn't happening only on the skin's surface. The tissues underneath the skin change too. Fat compartments can shift and lose volume. Muscles continue influencing expression. And even the underlying facial skeleton changes gradually throughout adulthood. That's one reason simply removing wrinkles wouldn't completely recreate your 20-year-old face. The architecture itself has matured. I think this is incredibly important psychologically because women sometimes buy product after product trying to fix something that isn't actually a skincare failure. It's anatomy. Your face matured. And personally, I don't think mature automatically means worse. Different isn't always worse. So for part 11, I want to talk about why I still believe skincare matters. After everything I just said, you might be wondering, Rebecca, wait, are you talking me out of skincare in your skincare series? No. Actually, understanding aging makes me appreciate good skincare even more because now the goal makes sense. I'm not asking a product to stop time. I'm asking it to help me care for the skin I have today. I want to cleanse without unnecessarily stripping my face. I want hydration. I want to support my skin barrier. I want antioxidant ingredients. I want products that improve how my skin feels and looks. I want sun protection. I want my skin to feel soft, comfortable, healthy, and cared for. That's where JAFRA comes into this conversation for me. I've been showing you different JAFRA products throughout this series, including products from the Royal Jelly, Defy collection. Like there's a bunch of them over here. And what I appreciate is having a routine where the different products have different jobs. Cleanse, treat, hydrate, protect, support the appearance of the skin. You don't necessarily need 15 products every morning and 15 every night. You need a routine that makes sense for your skin and that you're actually willing to use consistently. So for part 12, I want to discuss my approach as I approach 40. I am approaching 40. My birthday's in a few months, and I think there's something really interesting about this stage of womanhood. I'm not 20 anymore, and I don't want to spend my 40s desperately trying to prove that I'm still 20. I want to become the healthiest version of the woman I am right now. I want to be the healthiest version of who I am now physically, emotionally, spiritually. I want to take care of my body and my skin. I want to put myself together sometimes, and I want to wear makeup when I want to, and I want to use beautiful skincare, and I want to take care of my hair. And none of those things have to mean I hate them. No, there's an important distinction. Like, it doesn't mean that I hate myself without my hair and my skincare or my Hmm, no. What does it mean? There's an important distinction. Self-care doesn't have to come from self-rejection. It can come from gratitude. So that brings me to part 13, the royal journey. And this is where the entire JAFRA series has become something so much deeper for me. I've called this idea the royal journey because if you've watched some of the earlier episodes, you know that the story of Esther has always meant something to me. Before Esther ever stepped into her role as queen, there was a season of preparation. And I've thought about that so much while making the series. Not because I think Esther's story is telling women, go buy skincare. That's obviously not the point. It's the principle of preparation, stewardship, becoming ready for whatever season God places in front of us. There are times when caring for ourselves gets dismissed as vanity, and certainly vanity can exist, but caring for yourself isn't automatically vanity. Taking care of your body can be stewardship. Taking care of your health can be stewardship. Taking care of your appearance can be a way of respecting yourself. The difference, I think, is where our identity comes from. If I believe my worth depends on whether I have wrinkles, I'm going to spend my life terrified because eventually I'm going to lose that battle. Time always wins. But if I already know my worth, then skincare becomes something completely different. It's not, I need to fix myself so that I'm worthy. It's, I'm already worthy. So I'm going to care for myself. Hmm. Yeah. Maybe that's part of why the name of my channel, You Are Worth It Health, means so much to me. You are worth caring for today, not 10 pounds from now, not when your skin clears, not when your wrinkles get better, not when you're younger, not when you're prettier, today. So for part 14, I want to talk about how my mom changed how I see aging. I've talked about my mom quite a bit in this series. Her name is Patricia Bergstrom. She's been connected with JAFRA for 5 decades. And when I think about my earliest memories of skincare, I think about her. I grew up seeing a woman taking care of herself. And now I'm old enough to understand something I didn't understand when I was little. Those tiny habits add up. She couldn't stop herself from aging. None of us can. But she could care for herself while she aged. And now I'm doing some of those same things. There's something beautiful about that. A mother takes care of her skin. Her daughter watches, and then the daughter grows up and suddenly she's standing in her own bathroom approaching 40, putting skincare on her own face. Maybe her daughter sees her doing it, and these little rituals move through generations. That's bigger to me than just a jar of moisturizer. It's an example of saying, I'm worth 5 minutes of care. So for part 15, I want to discuss what I would prioritize if you're overwhelmed. If you're watching this thinking, okay, but I have no idea where to begin, don't make skincare complicated. Start with the basics. First, cleanse gently. You want to remove makeup, excess oil, sunscreen, and just the accumulation of the day without leaving your face feeling like you've scrubbed it with a dish soap. Second, hydrate and moisturize appropriately for your skin, especially as we get older. Maintaining comfortable, hydrated skin can make an enormous difference in appearance. Third, protect your skin from excessive UV sun exposure. Sun protection is one of the most evidence supported things we can do to reduce preventable photoaging. Fourth, if you want to expand your routine, add targeted products intentionally. Maybe that's an antioxidant serum. Maybe an eye treatment. Maybe a facial oil. Maybe something targeting the appearance of firmness or texture. But understand why you're using it. You don't need to buy something simply because somebody on the internet told you that you're aging incorrectly. And fifth, take care of the person underneath the skin. Eat nourishing food, get enough protein, drink, sleep, move. Find healthy ways to manage your stress. Get outside, laugh, build relationships, take care of your spiritual life, take care of your emotional health. Skincare should complement a healthy life. It shouldn't replace one. So for part 16, if you want help choosing JAFRA, if you've been watching this JAFRA series and thinking, okay, Rebecca, I actually want to try some of this, but I have no clue what I need, please don't feel like you have to figure everything out from watching me. My skin isn't necessarily your skin. JAFRA has lots of different collections and products for different skincare goals. And my mom is a JAFRA consultant. Her name is Patricia Bergstrom, and I'll put her JAFRA shopping link down in the description. If you decide you'd like to explore JAFRA, I'd love for you to go through her link. You can browse the products yourself and look through the different options and order online. And having a consultant attached gives you somewhere to start rather than wandering through all these products and wondering what on earth you're supposed to buy. Again, there's no pressure. That's really important to me. I'm making these videos because this is something my family has genuinely used for decades. And because I think it's interesting that such a long-standing brand gets so little attention in the online skincare conversation, especially in the United States. So many people don't know about JAFRA. So I want to show you what we've used and let you decide what's right for you. For part 17, I want to discuss that beauty is not youth. Before we finish, it's the one thing I really want people, women especially, you got to hear this. Beauty and youth are not synonyms. Read that again in your mind. It means they're not interchangeable words. Beauty and youth, they're not the same word. We've been marketed it as though they are, but they're not. A 20-year-old woman can be beautiful. A 40-year-old woman or man can be beautiful. A 60-year-old woman or man can be gorgeous. And an 80-year-old man or woman can still be vibrant and beautiful. They're different seasons. There are things about my younger face that I miss, and I think it's okay to admit that. We don't have to pretend aging never bothers us. Sometimes it does. But there are things about the woman that I'm becoming that my younger self didn't have. Experience, perspective, resilience, wisdom, stories, relationships, a deeper understanding of myself, a deeper relationship with God. You couldn't pay me to exchange all that just to erase a line from my forehead. No. And maybe that's the balance. Ooh, sorry. That's the balance that we're looking for. I can say I accept that I'm aging and I want to care for my skin. Those statements aren't contradictory. They complement. Okay. So the next time you look in the mirror, and notice something different. Don't immediately attack it. Look a little closer. That face has been with you through everything, my friend. Every laugh, every cry, every sleepless night, every child you've raised, every job you've done, every heartbreak, every celebration, every ordinary Tuesday when you didn't realize you were creating a memory. Your face carries pieces of your life. Take care of it. Protect her, nourish her, put a beautiful moisturizer on her if you want to, but don't hate her because she had the audacity to get older. Mm-mm. You are allowed to age and you are allowed to care about how you look while you do it. Both can be true. If you want to continue this journey with me, make sure you're subscribed because we're continuing this JAFRA series and we're going to go much deeper than product reviews. We're talking about skin, health, nutrition, aging, confidence, self-care, and what it means to take care of ourselves through every season of womanhood and aging. It comes to all of us, male and female alike. And if you'd like to explore JAFRA for yourself, I'll put my mom, Patricia's JAFRA consultant link in the description below. If you purchase through that link, you'll be ordering through her consultant site. And if the whole body health side of the conversation is what interests you, come visit me at my site, URworthitHealth.com. The letter U, the letter R, worthithealth.com. And that's where you can find more of my work as a nutritionist and certified health coach. I've also written books for people who want to understand their health on a deeper level, including Finally Understand Multiple Sclerosis and Finally Understand Your Thyroid. I'll put links in those for those below so they're easy to find. And whether you're here because of JAFRA, skincare, nutrition, health, or because you're another person just trying to figure out how to age without losing yourself, I'm really glad you're here, my friend. And remember, you don't have to become younger to become more amazing or more beautiful or more attractive. You don't have to erase your age to take care of yourself. And you certainly don't have to earn the right to invest in your own health. You are worth taking care of. I'll see you in the next episode. Bye for now.